I learned that people who build great companies are everyday people. They see a problem, and instead of waiting for somebody else to solve it, they go after themselves, and they persevere, they fail, and they learn along the way. And I thought I could do all the same things.
Everyone raves about Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg. They dominate the headlines, the panels, the documentaries. But while all eyes were on Silicon Valley, something else was happening somewhere in Africa. A Nigerian man who built a $3 billion tech empire after failing not once, not twice, but 3 whole times. And chances are, you've never even heard his name. He was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and that was where his tragedy started. He witnessed something that would change the course of his life permanently. Because of that, Tope was moved across the world to the United States. While he was there, everything was different. A fresh start that ushered in a new school, accent, and also a new identity. Tope tried to find his path the way most immigrants do: schooling, job, survival. But deep down, he wanted more. To build something of his own. He didn't blow up overnight into the millionaire that he is today. He tried to make it work over and over. He launched his first business, excited to pull off something after all the knowledge he had gotten from school. But he died before he even got developed. He shrugged and shot for another beautiful business idea. This one kickstarted operations, but shut down after a while. He pulled his head in again, beginning to get angry at the absolute failure he'd been through. He still decided to launch another business, hoping for a breakthrough. Newsflash: it failed again. Broke, frustrated, but still moving, he had one last idea. Not a sexy one, and was even less exciting than his previous idea. Just a scheduling link. A calendar tool. Sounds boring, right? But while the world was sleeping on it, he turned that simple link into a global empire. Today, you've ever booked a call, scheduled a meeting, or gotten that little pick a timeline in your inbox, you've probably used his invention. This is Tope Awotona's story. Welcome to AfriWealthWise, where we tell real stories behind successful Africans, those who are building more than just wealth, and those rewriting the future of the continent. This is one of those stories. Before the whole Calendly billion-dollar empire, Tope was just a boy trying to make sense of life. He grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, and for the most part, life was normal. He had both parents, lived in a decent neighborhood, and had dreams like every other Nigerian child. But one day changed everything. Tope was just 12 years old when he witnessed something no child should ever see: the violent killing of his father, right in front of him in a robbery. It shattered everything. His mother, trying to protect him from more trauma, made a tough decision to move the family abroad to the United States. She believed that a new country, a new start was what her family needed. But like most immigrants, it wasn't easy. Tope was now a young black boy in a land that didn't understand him. His accent and his skin color would always make him stand out. But if there was one thing about Tope, he was always curious. He loved learning, especially how things worked. He would play around with gadgets, computers, anything. So it made sense when he chose to study computer science in college. Funny thing though, he dropped out. Funny, right? He abandoned school because he hated it. The course was so full of equations and theory and not enough actions. So he switched to business and management instead. After school, Tope started working for tech companies like Dell, IBM, Perceptive Software. He also sold softwares too, though that job didn't make him rich. It taught him something valuable: how software was built and sold. Still, something was burning inside him. He didn't just want to work for someone else. He badly wanted to build something that mattered, something that was his. So, he did what many dreamers do. He tried to start a business. Inspired by a New York Times article about the founder of Plenty of Fish who was making millions with minimal effort, young Tope thought, I can do that. So he launched STT Media, which was short for SingleToTaken. It was supposed to be a dating site, but it never even launched. This was because he quickly realized he lacked the technical skills. He also lacked the necessary team and the understanding needed to bring it to life. He abandoned it before it even saw the light of day. Next, he tried his hand at e-commerce. A broker had convinced him that there was money in selling projectors online, and so he built ProjectorSpot.com and stocked inventory. After doing all of that, sales barely came in, profit margin to a razor thin, and he had zero passion or knowledge about projectors. I did not know anything about projectors, he later admitted. The business failed very quickly. Undeterred, Tope launched YardSteals.com, selling garden and backyard tools like reels. He made a few sales on replica items like knockoff big green eggs, but his success didn't last. He wasn't even passionate about gardening tools. Tope had never even used a grill before in his apartment. Low sales, low margins, and no joy in the work caused it to fold. Tope quickly learned through this whole business failure that money alone can't drive motivation. Tope himself reflected that at a point, he was chasing cash instead of solving a real need. Passion matters way more than we normally emphasize. Without personal interest in one's product or industry, sustaining effort is almost impossible. Tope also experienced firsthand that execution beats ideas, and he once said that ideas weren't worth much. Execution counts more. Tope Awotona had had enough after 3 failed attempts at business. From selling projectors, garden tools, and almost launching a dating site, he knew he was chasing ideas that felt empty. He was broke, disappointed, but still searching for purpose. Then, in the late 2012, something clicked. He was working a regular tech sales job, booking meeting after meeting. So how was that a problem? Hours of back and forth emails that at times finding a meeting time felt like pulling teeth. Are you free Monday? No, how about Thursday? Can't do that. Over and over. It was a waste of time and energy. It was also a waste of patience. Then, Tope thought, this is messed up. Why hasn't anyone fixed this? It wasn't just his problem. It was everyone's. He searched for tools already out there. Doodle and the others, they were slow, laggy, or made you subscribe immediately. None felt smooth or solved the universal frustration of making appointments online. That frustration then became the seed of a $1 million idea. Tope boiled it down. First, finding a meeting time is painful and inefficient. Then everyone hates the email ping pong. Also, most solutions either cost money or are built for traditional office settings, not freelancers, students, moms, or small teams. He saw a problem that affected everyone. Tope brought the answer, which was quite elegant. A clean, simple tool where you say, here's when I'm available, you pick a time. No need for multiple emails or guessing. There was no hassle. The scheduling tool was not too flashy, not over-engineered, just a link that works. His vision was clear. Connect your calendar and share a link. Anyone can try before upgrading. For everyone, not just big companies. Tope believed so much in solving this problem that he went all in. He staked everything, nearly $200,000 of his savings, maxed out his credit cards, and even dipped into his 401k. No safety net. He knew how to sell software, but building one, that was new to him. What he did was, he simply hired a small dev team in Kyiv, Ukraine through Railsware to build the first version. Then, in September 2013, Calendly launched from a shared workspace in Atlanta called Atlanta Tech Village. They had just a simple sign-up page, a clean interface, and a shared link. That's all. At first, usage was too slow. Then people began to use the link. Gradually, they were beginning to build traction. At this point, they had no plan for paid sales. The product was free and people used it because it worked. Every use showed a core idea was solving a problem. The pain of scheduling was real and Calendly healed it nicely. Tope's clear focus was also on making sure the tool was so easy people would use it immediately. Calendly had very limited features, no video conferencing built in, no complicated forms. He focused on calendar integration with Google and Outlook. Instead of chasing flashy features, they chased efficiency. Instead of chasing money, they chased real usage. By early 2014, Calendly had proven one thing: there was real demand. The pain of scheduling was everyone's pain, so solving it was everyone's gain. The stage was now set not just for fireworks, but for steady excellence. After his 3 businesses flopped, Tope approached Calendly and was very different. He didn't rush again. Instead, he spent about 6 months deeply researching scheduling challenges. He signed up for nearly 30 competing tools, took notes, tracked what worked and what didn't. That period helped him define exactly what most users disliked and desired. This time, he wasn't biased by his own hopes, and he actually listened to the market first, and he let it guide product decisions for him. Tope knew the pain too well, like the back of his hands. Scheduling meetings via email was slow and annoying. His goal, on the other hand, simply build something so simple that everyone could use it immediately. That meant easy calendar connection, pickable time slots, instantly shareable link. This clarity narrowed Calendly down to solving just one real problem, not trying to do too much. Unlike his earlier venture where he hedged bets, this time, Tope bet everything. He emptied his 401k, maxed cards, and saved almost $200,000 in startup capital. That meant 0 excuses. This shows that Tope was now fully committed to execution, unlike past attempts. There is also another fact that Calendly initially launched without payment functionality because he ran out of development money. But that stumbled into a breakthrough. The product spread fast as a free tool, so many users adopted it immediately. Later, a paid tier was introduced, and Calendly began generating revenue. This built trust and usage, something his earlier ventures lacked. So instead of paid ads, Calendly grew because of word of mouth and built-in virality. Users shared their link, new people experienced it, and sign up. 70% of sign-up came from invites and not marketing campaigns. Tope prioritized meetings scheduled as their advantage, and he drove retention and growth. In contrast, his earlier venture lacked any viral or referral mechanism. From launch onward, Tope focused on user feedback. Every small single update, from mobile friendliness, calendar integration, team scheduling features, was driven by real usage data. If people struggled, they fixed it quickly. He avoided falling into the trap of overbuilding or chasing the wrong features, which was something that derailed his second and third ventures. Tope also avoided scaling too fast or bringing in investors prematurely. Even post-growth, he resisted selling the company, which offered an 8-figure buyout. Instead, he was more focused on scaling, introducing only trusted engineers, customer support, even for free users, and a culture built around simplicity. That kept Calendly grounded in solving real use cases and preventing distractions from flashy growth tactics. Another factor that helped scale Calendly was that, rather than forcing its users to switch calendars, Calendly integrated with existing platforms like Google Calendar, Outlook, making it friction-free. Calendly simply complemented tools people already used. After scaling successfully, the world began to notice Calendly. In 2021, Tope became one of the few black tech founders in the United States to lead a company valued at over $1 billion without raising venture capital early on. That same year, Calendly hit a $3 billion valuation, making him one of the richest black men in tech, not just in America, but globally. Then, the media giant started knocking aggressively. Forbes named him one of America's richest immigrants. Business platforms hailed him as a pioneer for building a company with global impact, starting from Atlanta, not Silicon Valley. But what made Tope's recognition different? He wasn't just recognized for his wealth, he was also recognized for clarity. He was applauded for seeing a problem no one else took seriously and turning it into $1 billion tool. Tope had now joined boards, mentored entrepreneurs, and spoken at global conferences, not for fame, but to share how he did it. Don't make Tope Awotona's mistakes again. Before launching your next business idea, sit and ask yourself, does this business solve problems for a large number of people? Am I passionate about it? Calendly wasn't packed with features, but it solved the single problem. It was so easy to use that even the least tech-savvy could use it. Finally, execute relentlessly. Ideas don't build empires at all. As one Redditor quoted, ideas are zero. Execution is everything. Tope bet his life savings on getting this right. He risked it all, but did it with precision.